Addie Matheson is a seemingly normal sophomore at High Point University. She works hard, has good friends, and loves her sorority. But life for Addie hasn't always been easy. Adopted at a young age, her life's progressively gotten more difficult.
I grew up in a small town in Massachusetts. It's called Newburyport. It's right on the beach. I've lived there my whole life. My family still lives there. When I was young, I had this really rare disease called dermatomyositis, and I was in the hospital for most of my childhood. So when I was 4, I was finally out of the hospital and healthy and starting a normal childhood. And then my parents got divorced. I was a mess. I don't remember much of a childhood with them together. So I took it really hard. I was really upset for a long time. My dad, he was my favorite parent, which is really sad. We would go with him, me and my brother would go with him every other weekend and on Wednesday nights, and those are my favorite times. We did the most fun things on the weekends.
The simple pleasures Addie enjoyed when she was younger became more complicated as she matured. When Addie was in middle school, she got the desire to contact her biological parents.
My dad helped me write a letter. We took pictures and all this stuff, and then we sent it. But then my mom got really, really mad because my dad didn't tell my mom.
And the problems with her parents only got worse.
3 years ago, I went on a trip to Africa with my mom and my stepsister to volunteer at an orphanage and teach it kind of an after-school program for them. My dad wasn't too happy about it. I don't even know why. He just wasn't really okay with it. But I ended up going anyway with my mom and my stepsister. And he got really, really mad and threatened to call the police on my mom and all this stuff. And then after that, we just haven't really talked. So it's been almost 3 years now that we haven't talked.
Dr. Sadie Leader, an assistant professor of psychology here at High Point University, explains the importance of a strong parental bond.
We need to have connections, attachments with our primary caregiver. Typically that might be the mom in the situation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could absolutely be the father or the grandfather or adoptive parents. So it's not necessarily the genetic pull that it's your biological parents, but what we need is a consistent, responsive bond with the parent who is reliably there for us.
I've actually made some really great relationships here, more than I thought I ever would. I would say I trust Rachel the most because she has similar, I don't know, she's very similar to me.
We like the same things, so I think our relationship strengthened because we just had many things in common. We're very close. I knew about Addie's relationship with her dad since the beginning. She told me her story and I told her mine, and we can kind of relate to each other.
Because I was adopted, knowing that I was adopted and that I was kind of a mistake and that my birth parents didn't really want me or couldn't have me, and then the fact that my dad kind of just dropped me, I guess you could say, I don't know, just cut off all communication. I feel it hurt almost more, kind of I've already been rejected by the people who gave me life, and then this person that was picked to be my parent for the better just kind of gave up and dropped me. I don't know, so I think it did make it worse.
Should something like a parent, which we had that secure attachment with, change so unexpectedly in a way that we can't make sense of, it might very well change the way we trust. It might change the way we interact not only with that parent, but have effects that can be extrapolated to all relationships.
I know she doesn't trust anyone, so I can kind of see that she's been more trusting as she meets new people and learns about them.
I've learned to trust people more, meeting all the girls in my sorority. They've taught me to have more faith in people, and now I have so many people that actually do have my back, and I wouldn't say I trust them all 100%, but I'm getting there.
It is clear that Addie is beginning to move on. She hopes to one day reconnect with both her father and her biological parents, but she's not worried about that now. The only thing that concerns her is being a good student, a good sister, and a good friend.